Okay, so as far as the dissociation thing, what happened with me is what happens with everyone is that it is innate in which they have that gut feeling, somatic feelings that flow with your thought images. They connect with your thought images. And the only way you can properly control your feelings is by controlling your thought images. But what I did, what is possible, because I did it and got stuck in it for years, was I did neurofeedback for ADHD, in which if you do attention, it puts the brainwaves up. It makes the brainwaves go up and down real fast, and that was what I was trying to do. So I took my somatic, emotional gut feelings, basically, and I was able to turn it into this inner squeeze, like get inside of myself and inner squeeze it, because I was trying to like tense up my head and face and everything in order to trick the brain waves from going up and down without reading it as muscle tension. Because if you flex your muscles like this, it would go beep 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 beep, and so you're not supposed to do that. So, but what happened is it's called inner isometric tension, and I think that's the same type of tension that people can get with anxiety and probably depression. Okay, but since mine was mind manipulated, it's a little bit harder for me to know for sure, but I think it's basically the same thing. So just anything, it is the same thing as somebody who, what happens is they get the bad feeling in them, and then what they do is they try to control the feeling within the feeling, like in order to like not make it as bad, and or to try to get rid of it. And of course, like I said, the only way it can be gotten rid of is through the thinking, in which the thinking, you can produce good feelings through that innate sort of natural mechanism that we were programmed as in the only way in which we're able to control our feelings. But my point is that, so that's why like people don't understand exactly what I'm talking about or something. So when your thoughts are flowing with your feelings, your imaginative thoughts, then you're all good, and you feel like that kind of your emotional gut feelings. It's like they goes from head to belly, is that zone of feeling. I mean, it's not like exactly there, and it's also something that people aren't even noticing. They're just thinking and they're having these feelings and stuff, and they're not really noticing that. But that's what they're having, and that's what's good. That's what you want. You want your natural born self and everything. You want how it's all innately done in order to get out of it. Because so what happens now this is the details of why you can get stuck in it, even though when you're out of it you so don't want to do it again, and how it gets stuck in it. What happens is that, like last time, what I did was that's why it's like I can't even talk about it or think about what that feeling is. Well, that's something that you don't want to say to yourself either, because you could think about the feeling. You could even do it. It's like this inner squeeze. Do it. As long as you don't fear like getting stuck in it or whatever, you could do it and then not do it. Because the reason why you get stuck into it perpetually, and then it's just nonstop 24/7, is because it gets initiated where for me, I would just think about that feeling, and that feeling is that inner squeeze tension thing, and I just think about what that feeling feels like. But at the same time, I go, I like go panic as far as no, don't think about that feeling. No, don't do that feeling. And that panic about no, don't do that feeling just zones in on it, and then I'm really doing it, and then from there, when I get there, I do the wrong method in trying to stop it, in which is that I try to I'm stuck inside of it. The emotional feelings go away because they transfer into that inner isometric tension. The somatic feelings transfer into inner isometric tension, and my method and the thoughts become real shallow too. They just go into the concentration of that tension feeling, and because you're scared and don't want to do it so bad, it intensifies it, and then from there you'll be trying to not do it, and you so badly want to not do it. That's another problem for how it stays stuck in you. But you're trying to stop it within the feeling itself. It's like you're trying to zone out of it and all this stuff. And meanwhile, all that does is keep your somatic feelings it keeps them transferred into inner isometric tension instead. By doing it wrong, by trying to stop it, by trying to hold it so it doesn't get worse, and then that won't work. It'll get worse, But that method for stopping it, for getting out of it, absolutely does not work. In fact, that is what actually keeps it ruminating within you. So the basic thing is do not ever try to control your feelings from within your feelings, kind of thoughtlessly from within your feelings. The feelings can only be controlled within your thought images, your thinking. In that thinking, your thinking, in this case, if there's inner isometric tension, the thinking needs to transfer out in connection with into somatic feelings, which are in connection with those thoughts, and from there you can keep your thoughts happy, you can make them sad or whatever. I don't even care if they're sad or whatever, as long as it's not inner isometric tension. Then actually I am happy. Whoa, it's not inner isometric tension. Yeah, I'm the hopeless thought can be pretty damaging too. In fact, maybe the hopeless thought also creates inner isometric tension, but, because I did it in such a way that it was mind manipulation. But either way, that's the worst one. You always got to keep your hope alive, check off your worries, just so that they're not on your mind, and then just your visualizations are just whatever, clear and deep and connected with your somatic feelings. And yeah, you can keep them positive pretty easily from there. But it's not a big worry if they go too negative. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you're thinking in this way, it's really easy to control your feelings with those thoughts, as long as the thoughts are correctly functioning in that way, your innate way. But that's the key thing is it's kind of complicated, because it's because I'm thinking about it, yes, but you get perpetually into it so much that in the feeling of it, that even when you're trying to escape it, it's you can't get rid of that feeling of it while trying to have it escaped at the same time, because it's just because you don't know the difference really. As soon as you kind of get into it, it's you don't know the difference between what that somatic feeling flow is that is connected with your thinking, because it's such a different feeling, and at the same time, but it's but yeah, it's perpetuated because, first of all, you get afraid to feel it. Okay? Can't be afraid to feel it. If you're afraid to feel it and you think about it both, then that fear of it drives it in to a, oh no, no, don't do that, to a trying to stop it within that realm of feeling, of a feeling that it's not your emotional gut feelings. Is in order to do that feeling, your emotional gut feelings transfer into an inner squeeze tension thing, and the thoughts transfer in to the thoughts of it as well, and it sandblasts in a rumination because your thoughts are on it and your somatic feelings are creating it. And then it stays on it because you try to not do it within that feeling itself. Not trying to control your feelings with your thoughts, but instead trying to like mindlessly control it within the feeling itself. So that's how it works. And that's why the transfer out of it, and then too, just automatically just lose your confidence and everything, because your thoughts are so centered onto this. It's kind of like, you can't really think about everything else going on, and it's just kind of like, like, okay, well, just, I can't think real well and clear. I can't talk real well and clear because this concentration is too ever present, and then within that tension you'll be trying to do everything at the same time. It's like, and then like instead of you're just able to look at everything, that's just automatic. It's like your thoughts are doing it, and what you're looking at is not even, it's so in the back of your mind. It's not like I'm physically turning my head to look at something within the, how you the viewer is looking around and seeing everything, and they're not like pointing their head over here or over the head. It's just a secondary thing that you are automatically doing, secondary to your thinking, right? But in that shallow mind in which you get stuck in the inner squeeze, then suddenly, it's like a mechanical thing, like of, because the thoughts go dead inside of the tension type of thing. And and then the way out of it is, noticing all those things for one thing. But once you, and it has to be that tensiony feeling has to be completely replaced by like just the senses of kind of like the relaxed sensations of the exterior. That's why the grounding is the first step. But really what you need is to get those thoughts back in unison with your somatic feelings, and then from there, once that's relaxed, you're not feeling it anymore. Instead, what you are feeling is kind of like gut sensations on everything, from the first person, pretty much in the present moment, all that stuff. And then your thoughts are flowing in conjunction with like the gut feelings, the somatic feelings. No inner isometric tension at the same time. Only somatic feelings flowing with your thinking. Then yes, you are totally out of it. But the thing is, constantly afraid of even thinking about it. Well, and that was like, how could I not be? And it's like, well, I've kind of like really keyed in on how, okay, I could think of the feeling of it, but don't fear that thinking of the feeling of it is going to get you stuck into it, because if you don't fear it, you can switch out of it by not fearing it. The fearing of it is what will keep your mind like just ruminating on it. And then after that, the thing of trying to stop it with inattention does not work. Don't try it that way. The way you can control your feelings, you control them with your thoughts, and that's like the only way you can control your feelings. That's the thing about us humans. The subconscious reptilian brain does all the work. The only thing that our human conscious brain needs to do is think. It just needs to think in the correct sort of way, in that it's taking in the information of everything, and the reptilian brain is the one doing all the work, all that work. It doesn't want you to try to control the feelings within your own feelings. It does that. You just feed it the thoughts, If you're feeding the thoughts of, oh my God, there is a snake, because you're seeing it, even if you're just imagining it, yeah, maybe a little bit, but if you're seeing it in the real life words, all you are is thinking about, whoa, a snake there, and your body automatically does the reactions of, ready to bolt out of there. You're not like mechanically doing that, what I'm saying. So, so you don't want to get involved in this type of mind manipulated, fucked up shit that happened to me. And, I did that neurofeedback, and I did it wrong with Dr. John Nash a long time ago. And I've tried to text him about that and everything, and he tries to deny it. He's like afraid of liability or something like that, and I'm just trying to explain it to him, like as a person who has really figured it out really, really well, and went through horrible long struggles of it. When I first got stuck into it, I was just totally stuck into it like a total zombie, couldn't even talk, and just I stuck it up in my eyeballs, stuck it up all through my head, all through my face, I was just not, and wasn't even feeling my body at the same time. It was just all head, just a head of tension, and that happened in high school. So I went from being voted the most funniest kid in my school and everything, and then I transferred to another high school at the same time that I started doing this, and then I couldn't, I was just like a zombie. I had to go to like special classes and stuff, and here I was really smart and state champion wrestler too. The best at all the sports, super talkative, super funny, just totally smart, and just became like a total zombie. And I was stuck in that for years nonstop before I just was trying to, just forcing myself to have to think about something, just trying to focus so hard on, trying to go for the greatest happiness, for the greatest number ideas and stuff, in order to finally start like getting some excitement, emotions that I could just kind of latch onto and just try to build off from there. and then just stay in that kind of emotion state, where that started to totally replace the tension. So then I was able to relax into that and everything. But it was still hard to really understand what the fuck has happened, what is going on, how this is how it's an inner isometric inner tension that is the somatic feelings that is kind of like doing it more so than just like a physical thing, and how everything that I've explained, so, but yeah, being able to totally understand it on this type of level as to how it works, what you need to do to get out of it, what the differences of feeling everything is something that, as far as I know, no one's ever known. Oh, yeah, of course, no one's ever known. But now we do. Because of me explaining this. So that should be... there's nothing worse than the nightmare of getting stuck in an inner clench like that. Nothing worse. It takes away all your brain. It takes away all your thinking, your brains, and it creates tension feelings, and you're stuck in it. There's nothing worse than that. It's pure fucking hell. So it's pretty important to really fucking figure it out in order to be able to conquer this. And then after you actually conquer it, because you know it so well as to the mechanisms of what's going on, to actually not even have to fear it so much. So now we do. So there you go.